Hello and welcome back to the show. So I am super excited today to be sitting down with an expert in digital marketing and especially incentive-based marketing, which, as we all know, is very important and has been a very popular and effective strategy if used correctly in any type of business. So today we're going to be talking a lot about that with our guest, Marco Torres. He is the founder of marketingboost.com, and he actually has a Facebook group of business owners leveraging the strategies that he's been teaching of over 30,000 members as well. And he's going to be sharing his story with us, sharing some of the strategies that has worked for him and also a lot of his clients as well. And especially how real estate agents and investors can leverage some of these incentive-based strategies to generate more clients, more business, and so on and so forth. So we're very excited about this, but Marco, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to our chat here.
Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to hearing a lot about you and some of the strategies that you have to share. So before we get started into that, would you mind just sharing a little bit about you and your story and just, how did you get into this line of work? How did you become this marketing expert and were you always incentive based in your approach?
No, that's a great question, and thanks for asking. So, no, I've not always been with incentive-based marketing, and my background was, I think, is similar to yours. I was listening to one of your stories recently where you got out of high school and decided to kind of bypass college route and got into real estate early on, and congratulations on your path, doing quite well. Mine was similar. When I was in high school and I got out of high school, I went to about a year and a half of college and just wasn't for me. I never was a very good student. In my case, you said you were, but I wasn't. So I wasn't good in high school or college. And really that's because I never had nobody ever instilled in me, none of my teachers ever really gave me or wrapped the reason behind it, why you need to learn, what you're going to be able to do with this knowledge. So it always just seemed like a waste of time. Well, not until I got in business did I realize how much more I need to learn about everything from writing to math to software technology. And I've been a student of learning ever since. For example, I grew up, in Puerto Rico, and I did not speak Spanish. I was proud to be the gringo in the crowd in Puerto Rico, even though my last name is Torres and I'm Mexican descendants. But I was amongst a community of the what we called the gringos over there, and it was too cool to be the gringo. We were the surfers, we were the cool kids, and so I thought. And so it was, I didn't want to learn Spanish. But not and then later, when I decided I didn't want to go to college, I convinced my family, my older brother, my mom, let's open Mexican restaurants. Heck, mom, you cook amazing. Everybody loves your food. So we convinced her to we should do that together. Long story short, we opened 5 restaurants in 5 years. But at the beginning, the customers would make fun of my broken Spanish with the gringo accent, etc. And so now I had a motivation to learn Spanish for business. So whenever I put the dollar signs behind the learning, it always now became easier and more fun to learn. And it no longer was the chore that it was beforehand. So it's really, if you're a teacher out there, learn how to motivate kids. And learning is about dollar signs. They've got to, at least that's what it would have been for me if they'd ever done that. What else? I got out of the restaurant business. We sold them to Taco Bell when they wanted to come into the island, and we had the lockdown on all the major food courts in on the island of Puerto Rico. So we had a nice parachute package to get out of our restaurants. And I went on to open a nightclub by the time I was 24, 23, 24. And then when sold that, I moved to the US, got into sales, all kinds of direct sales, everything from door-to-door sales to you name it. And been a student of learning from everybody from, Zig Ziglar's to Brian Tracy's to many other business, learning and training myself on how to become a salesman, and then moved on to internet marketing. I've been an internet marketer since 1996. So this is where I've been a very early adapter of internet marketing before you were probably born, Kobe. So I was a spammer before they called it spam. I mean, we were email marketing, and when everybody had their AOL accounts, back then everybody loved email. Today, it's a tool for work, but it's not much of, we're not going there to find stuff we want to buy typically. However, it still is one of the number one ways to generate revenues via email marketing. But anyway, it's I've seen the evolution of the internet for a long time. I've generated over $1 billion of sales online since 1996 with my companies or the companies I've worked for, and now I have a company I'm really excited about. I teach other business owners, and I supply the what I call the wow, surprise, and delight factor to help business owners grow their business and scale quickly with the help of incentives. Sorry to take such a hog the microphone there with that whole story. But anyway, I tried to speed it up.
No, it's all good. I think it's really interesting. That's kind of the background that you came from, is that you were running a lot of successful businesses before you even got into digital marketing, right? So I think for a lot of people today who are starting businesses, that's where they start from, right? Is the internet, right? I think, today with running a business, you almost can't not be on the internet in order to exist. So I think a lot of people start with that mentality, and they kind of just see all the flashing lights, and they see all of the shiny objects of different social media, different platforms that they can market on and run their business on, but never really learn, I would say, the principles of business that you did. So is
Right.
that something that you would say kind of attributed to, the approach that you're approaching digital marketing is from the experience you had in running businesses before the internet?
Absolutely. It was, well, for example, when we opened the first Mexican restaurant, before we opened it, and I'd recommend this strategy to anybody out there considering starting a business. Um, we wanted to get in the I wanted to get in the restaurant business. I convinced my older brother and my mother, and my father was the logical one behind the mix. Was in finance, and he said, "Well, we can, I might be able to find funding and help you get the money to open a restaurant, but there's no way I'm going to do that until you guys prove to me that you really want to be in this business and that you know what you're doing." So we flew out to live with my uncle in San Antonio, Texas, rather, and we went to work, and we do what today we call funnel hacking. But we went to work for a bunch of different Mexican restaurants all over San Antonio. My brother at one, me and another, working day shifts, working night shifts. We were taking photographs of everything. We'd volunteer for the midnight shifts so we could be in there pretty much by ourselves, mopping up the floors, but taking pictures of everything, the equipment they use, the inventory strategies, the supplies, the suppliers, the layouts, the stainless steel design layouts of their food flow and what a kitchen equipment. I mean, you name it. We essentially were building, copying, copy paste our own design of being able to be in the restaurant business without, risking or having fallen our face on trying to do something without knowing what we're doing, or buying a franchise that would have cost us, a ton of money. So we didn't have the money to buy the franchise, so we went and put it all together, and we meet every night, the next day in the morning, brother and I, and go over our notes of what we were learning and so on. So that was invaluable, and it taught us, from everything from how to, customer service, ordering processes, employee processes, hiring processes, the systems and procedures. And before you knew it, we had our own system in place. And 5 years later, we had 5 Mexican restaurants throughout the St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. So.
That's super cool. So, the term funnel hacking, right, that you brought up, which is something I think a lot of people think it's a new concept, but it was always there, right? Figuring out what existing businesses are doing, how they're successful, and then just duplicating it, replicating it in your own way in your market, which has always been like a tried and true principle of developing a business strategy and system.
Forever. I mean, really, it's like before you just launch out on your own, go be an apprentice, even if you have to work for free, invest the time or get up, it doesn't matter what they're willing to pay you. If that's the career path you want to take, if that's the business you want to open, especially, then you want to be in there one way or the other, because you're not there, you know. I'll tell you another story. My first, once we got moved back to Puerto Rico, we closed this food court mall, the biggest in the floor in Puerto Rico at the time. They were opening this huge food court that was a new concept back in 1979. Today, there are food courts everywhere, right? But that was a new idea back then. And we convinced them all to give our little family business a shot versus bringing in Taco Bell, for example, to the island. And we got the exclusivity on it. And then we had a year to go before we could open the restaurant. We had to build it out, and the building and the whole food court wasn't even finished, and so on. So I went to work at another restaurant in Puerto Rico. But when I went to get that job, this is if you're young out there looking for your first opportunity to work as an apprentice somewhere, I went to the management of this very high-end steak and seafood restaurant, and I went to them as a young kid, 19 years old. And I said, listen, hire me because I'm going to be your best employee you've ever had. I'm going to be the first one here, the last one to leave. I want to learn every position in this restaurant, believe it or not. I want to be, your busboy, barback, waiter, dishwasher, wherever you'll put me, I'm going to learn it. And the manager laughed and he called the owner of the restaurant. He said, come here, you got to hear this story. And so the owner comes in, it was Larry Sweeney was his name, and he says, Larry, check out, hear this kid, why should we hire you? So I told him the same thing. He says, and then I said, by the way, 1 year from today, or somewhere about a year from now, I'm going to open my own restaurant. I promise you. They both burst out laughing, but they hired me. They didn't know I already had a contract. And but a year later, I gave the owner and that manager an invitation to our grand opening. The owner came, but the manager did not. And long story short, after we sold to Taco Bell and after I sold my nightclubs, um, that owner, Larry Sweeney, ran into me one day and he says, hey, what are you doing now? I was like on a sabbatical traveling around all over the Caribbean. And he asked me to run his new restaurant. So I took over his new restaurant called the Dar Tiffany, a super high-end steak and seafood, dry aged meat, all this stuff. And I ended up a bunch of their top people that I used to work for when I was that busboy were now working for me, as I was the general manager of the restaurant at the El San Juan Hotel and Casino in Puerto Rico, which if you've ever been there, that's still the nicest hotel on the island. And since then, I got, I've done a lot. So I've had a lot of businesses and a lot of experience, but all of that, it was learning lessons and steps on, taking care of the customer. And at the same time, I learned that the customer is not always right. You've got to, that used to be something that was ingrained in me. And then as I had my own businesses over the years, I realized, one of the things I love most about being an entrepreneur is I can fire a customer too. When they suck, when they just demand way too much for what they're willing to pay and so on and so forth, I can part ways and be like, you know what? You and I are not a good fit. So
And that's a lesson I think a lot of real estate agents need to be taken into account for, because there's a lot of agents that I know who are spending way too much time with clients that are either not going to turn out to be a real client or it's just not worth the check that they're actually getting. So
yeah,
uh,
if you don't do a good enough discovery process, and are you making sure they're qualified for the mortgage and what have you before you spend 3 weeks showing them properties and stuff? I don't know. I had a stint of being a realtor as well, and running people showing houses and stuff, and it wasn't for me. But I learned a lot. So everything is a learning step in the process.
Yep, absolutely agree. So let's shift a little bit into kind of what you're really an expert on right now, which is incentive-based marketing. So for people who don't understand kind of what that is, explain a little bit, if you don't mind, what is incentive-based marketing? How does that work? And how can it be applied into pretty much any industry? Because I believe it can be.
Yeah, I'll give you a couple of examples first that everybody will recognize of and some couple of examples of what is incentive-based marketing. Then I'll tie some examples of how it could work, how our product works for a lot of realtors that use Marketing Boost. But for example, we're talking about adding a carrot to whatever your call to action is, adding value to your call to action, improving your value stack versus discounting. And give you an example that all recognize Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men on the planet, one of the most successful retailers on the planet. In 2005, I believe it was, he launched Amazon Prime. And at the time, none of us were really into streaming videos or what have you, but we wanted free shipping. Free shipping was the incentive, 2 day free shipping. If you signed up for Amazon, you paid 79 bucks a year back then. I think it's $100 a year now. But the key was it wasn't, we now today 70% of all online research, searches for retail products start on Amazon or end on Amazon. And we want that free shipping. And today, of course, you can get same day shipping. It's just unbelievable, right? But that's one example. The shipping was what made him stand out from the crowd. The free shipping was the draw card, and it worked like a charm. Today, we're all loyal customers to Amazon when, it's almost over. It's almost too much. Then we've got McDonald's is another example. McDonald's for decades now has had an incentive for parents with children to select McDonald's over other fast food outlets with the Happy Meal. They help us take our eye off of the price, and we get a bundle that if they didn't have the Happy Meal, we might have just ordered the burger and a soda for our child. But instead, we get the Happy Meal, which includes the bundle and the snack and the fruit and the soda or the milkshake or whatever it is. And it includes the toy, the seasonal Disney movie toy or what have you, that people, that entertains your child for a little bit. And that bundle, that Happy Meal, gets them to stand out from the crowd and generate an extra $4 billion a year for decades now. So, what is your adult Happy Meal for your business? Is kind of what I promote. What are you offering? What can you add to your call to action? It might be, if you're in real estate, it might be, can you partner with the mortgage company and say, hey, when you work with me, and I've got the perfect team of mortgage guys that can get just about anybody approved. And so if you, I'll get you qualified with that. I don't know. There's different things. If you teach coaching, if you're, again, whether you use Marketing Boost or not, can you partner with colleagues, for example, and say, hey, I have a training, a video training system on how to get qualified or how to sell your house fast with, small touch ups or what have you. And my partner has a training coach system on how to get, how to buy a house with bad credit or what have you. But when you get my course, you get my portion of my partner's course included free as your added value bonus. Again, I'm not an expert on what everybody out there in the real estate world is offering their consumers or their prospects or their leads, but you need and another idea is lead magnets, right? You need to, how do you, whether, even if you're on your own and you have a lead magnet, you have a PDF, you have a video training, you have, hey, we can get, how to buy your home with, how to buy your first home with little to nothing down, or how to, whatever it is you're the expert at, you can create video training, etc. And then how do you get people to actually download and put in name, phone number, and email? Because people are a little bit gun shy on that. Lead magnets have been around for decades. They still work, but you either, you've got to have a really good hook or something really attractive that makes people want to get it. But if you can add one of the Marketing Boost incentives, and I'll tell you about that in a minute, you might be able to add a very valuable or perceived value incentive to help people choose and download your PDF, watch your video training, attend your webinar, come to your live event, and also get, for example, a complimentary hotel stay in Las Vegas that doesn't cost you next to nothing, or $500 hotel savings card if they book a Zoom call, or a $200 hotel savings card if they book an appointment with you, just to see if it's a good fit to work together on Zoom. Or download my PDF and we'll throw in $100 a restaurant savings card. Good at over in your zip code, you'll find participating restaurants. You'll be able to save money next time you go out. My gift when you download my PDF, or my gift when you book a Zoom call and for us to chat and see if I can help you find the home you're looking for, or that kind of thing, where you're adding a little bit of value to acquire a call to action. And now I guess I don't want to hog the microphone here. You may have a question, Kobe, but I often, go into what is Marketing Boost, to give you an example of what we do there.
Right. Yeah, I do want to talk about that actually, because it's really interesting that you're talking about lead magnets, because I think that's where most people's understanding of incentive-based marketing is. It's offering a lead magnet to be able to capture a lead, but from what you were talking about, it sounds like there's even more to that, right? It's more about creating an offer where you are essentially offering more value than your competitors instead of trying to lower your price or to try and outcompete somebody, right? For real estate agents, that could be trying to lower your commissions, right? Down to watering it down to nothing versus just adding more to your service, which is a much better way to essentially justify charging the same or potentially even more commissions. And that way you're able to essentially get more value yourself out of your customers as well by providing them more value as well.
Absolutely. So let me tell you what Marketing Boost is, and then, well, I could tell you and then how it came about, but then you'll be able to, and then I can start to show examples of how people use it in the real estate business today of many clients that we have. So Marketing Boost is a subscription plan. And by the way, it's dirt cheap. Anybody can afford it. It's only $37 a month. And as a member of Marketing Boost, for that 37, we give you the ability to the access to our travel incentives that you can add to whatever your call to action is, which include complimentary hotel stays in 130 destinations around the world from 3 to 7 nights. Destinations like 3 nights in Las Vegas, Orlando, Branson, Missouri, Gatlinburg, Miami, Atlanta, 30 U.S. destinations, 5 nights in places like Cancun, Cabo San Lucas, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, Punta Cana, the Dominican Republic, 7 night stays in places like Phuket, Thailand, and what have you. They don't include airfare. Here's the 3 disclaimers that you would also tell your clients if you were giving one of these away. Hey, these don't include airfare, they don't include food and beverage, and they don't include government taxes and fees. So, for example, a quick sample, if I just sold you a home, I might say, listen, I'd like to give you the gift of 7 nights or 5 nights in Cancun or Cabo San Lucas as my housewarming gift to congratulate you for all the stress we've been through to finally get you qualified and into this new home. I've got a 5 night trip to Cancun on our, real estate firm. They don't include food and beverage. They don't include airfare to and from Cabo, and it won't include the government taxes and fees. But I've got your hotel stay at a beautiful resort on us. So here's our gift. And then whether they do, whether they use it or not will be up to them. But you offered and gave a valuable incentive. Now, in the real estate industry, I know there's a lot of restrictions. You can't incentivize a transaction. You can't say if you list your home with me, at least in most states in the U.S., you can't say list your home with me and I'll reward you with 5 nights in Cancun. But you could say, um, you could have door hangers when you're working a neighborhood, and what do they call that? Canvassing a neighborhood, or you might leave door hangers that say, call, give me a call. I'll tell you what your home is valued at compared to all of your neighbors based on all of the stats and all of the comps and everything else. A free analysis on us, and just for that appointment, whether you want to sell your house or not, would like to get to know you, have a chat, and I'm going to reward you with a $100 restaurant savings card you can use at restaurants in your community or when you travel. Our gift just for us to meet and chat. I'm the local expert in this zip code, yada yada yada. Your nice, business card, etc. You might say, if there's different ways, right? If you promise the incentive to everybody without a requirement to buy or sell or what have you, you can tie these incentives. And for example, when you publish a promotion for open house, you might have on the counter a countertop signage with a QR code, and you have a signage there that says register to see the home. And by the way, I'm giving away to somebody today who's coming through this home a complimentary hotel stay, 3 nights in your choice of Orlando or Las Vegas on us. Just give us some accurate information, your name, phone number, email, what type of home you're looking for. And so now with the QR code, you can take them, they can go right to their phone. They can enter name, phone number, email, because they have a shot at winning. And then you might even say, all entries will get a $100 restaurant savings voucher to use right here at local restaurants. And one of you is going to win 3 nights in Cancun or in Las Vegas. So now you're getting accurate information instead of mickeymouse.com, Marco at mickeymouse.com. You're getting accurate leads that you'll be able to follow up on, and you'll be able to follow up on all of them and say, hey, I've got your $100 restaurant savings voucher. I'm getting ready to send it to you. You didn't win the trip to Las Vegas, but you do have Or actually, you could give everybody the trip to Las Vegas if you wanted to. You are a winner, by the way. Congratulations. But let's talk about your needs. What kind of home are you looking for? Have you been qualified for the mortgage already? Now you've got to follow up and then because they'll listen to you easier because you've got a gift to give them. If they didn't answer the phone, you could send them a text and message and saying, I've got, that $100 gift for you. And you were one of the winners, for example. So give me a call back. Let's talk about what your home needs are. And want to send you your incentive that you're eligible for now. So you've got a reason to call them back on that. If you're at a trade show, register to win one of our complimentary hotel stays, and why they want to work with your real estate firm versus somebody else. You have something to as a draw card at the booth to help acquire leads. And I can keep going on ideas. I've got, but by now, Kobe, you might have a question, so I'll let you jump in.
Oh, I think that's I think people have a good understanding of what that is now, hearing about it and how they can be used as a real estate agent as well, which is, I know some agents have similar, partnerships in place, but none I think that are as nobody is offering value incentives as much as, kind of what you're talking about, which is like 5 night hotel stays and different things like that, which are for a lot of people, right, that can be very costly to find a hotel like Hilton to try to partner up with as an individual agent. So I guess like my question would be, um, you know, some people on the outside looking in could see this as, if I'm offering an incentive, they want to really tie it back to kind of like the service that they're offering. So in your case, you're seeing that it doesn't necessarily matter whether or not the incentive ties directly back to what you're offering as a service. It's just some incentive out there that people can enjoy on their own time as a free gift, and it doesn't have to have a direct tie.
It doesn't have to tie in. Obviously, if you have your own product to tie in, that can be a value. If you're a business coach and you're coaching people on how to generate, how to raise funds to invest in your real estate transactions and what have you, then you might be, if you have a business coaching process and you might say, hey, if you hire me for 6 months, the seventh month is free, your own bonus, your own added value. Pay for 12 months in advance and I'll give you the 13th month free or what have you. You're creating your own added value incentive. If you've got, buy one, get one offers, if you're an online retailer, you can create your own incentives. They're powerful, rewards platform, right? You can create a point system and say, when you spend $1,000 on my e-store, I'll give you, you earned whatever it is you might want to throw in of your own products and services. On the other hand, with marketing boost incentives, for 37 bucks a month, you get unlimited amount of these incentives that don't cost you much of anything. And all you need to really do is the way you spell it out, how it makes sense. How do I, as a realtor, offer travel? And it's pretty easy. All you really got to do is put it, is spell it out and say, we have an incredible working relationship with our travel partner, redeemvacations.com. So I've got a few of these vacation certificates available. If you attend our open house on Saturday, we're giving away 2 trips, at the open house. So get on down there, come and see the house if you're looking to buy a home, and you have a chance of winning 5 nights in Cancun or Cabo San Lucas. So now you're just saying it. We've got this working relationship with a travel partner, and you always want to create scarcity and urgency. I've got a few of these available. Let's say you're putting on a live event and you're training people on investing in real estate and what have you, and your cost for the event at the Orlando Theater, local convention center is $800 per ticket. Well, now you've got a pretty high ticket offer. And you might say the first 100 people that buy the ticket to our live event are going to get their choice of 3 nights in one of 30 US destinations on us, only for the first 50 or first 100, who buy their ticket. And you're creating that. The travel has nothing to do with the convention, but it's one more reason to take action today, for example, or download our PDF. And we're giving, you've seen that, kind of given through that. Now, Kobe, one question that typically comes to mind to a lot of people here is, it sounds too good to be true, and how can we do that? How can we give these hotel stays to folks? Well, first thing I want to cover, there's no timeshare presentations or any hoops that your clients have to go through. And the way, well, make a long story short here, we came up with a way to make a win-win-win for everybody. We have been in the travel space since 1990, 30 in my case, and figured out that hotels have a problem that we've helped them help them solve. Their hotels are never full year round. They've got empty rooms. I mean, they're certainly full on certain holidays, peak season, special events, 4th of July, Easter week, Christmas week, but the majority of the year, 70% of the year, they've got 30, 40, 50% of their rooms sitting empty. And yet they still have the same fixed costs, the mortgage payment, the front desk staff, the maintenance crews. Really, the only extra expense is that uh, maid service if someone's actually in the room. So they lose money if that room goes empty. Now, if we can put a family in their room, this is what we promised hotels when we first got started. We're like, look, if we're going to put some warm bodies in these rooms, couples, families, individuals that are likely going to spend money at the restaurant, the bar, room service, at the gift shop, the excursion desk, the casino, they'll book extra nights, upgrade room types. And if you'll give us access to these empty hotel rooms, we'll put people in there that are likely going to spend, you'll get some revenue versus none. And they're also going to post pictures of themselves on Facebook and everything else and tell everybody about your hotel. And they'll be referring others, which we have a system for that to help them generate new business paying full retail. And so we got a few hotels to participate with us. And then we thought, man, can you imagine if we had hotels all over the world doing this? We'd have another standalone business. And that's what eventually became marketingboost.com. When it started, we were just offering this to our own clients on our own travel website as a bonus if they gave us a video review. We wanted video testimonials. And mind you, this is another powerful thing any realtor could be using is we wanted video testimonials, but we couldn't get anybody to do it. So we came up with the idea to offer them a bonus trip if they would go that extra mile and film a selfie video about the hotel they were at and so on. And before we knew it, we had hundreds of videos of these coming in. Today, we have over 30,000 video testimonials from happy travelers. And so that's how the business started was we were looking to give away a few nights hotel stays just to generate video reviews for ourselves.
Wow, that's really interesting how, that came about is, kind of using the incentive idea to get people to take action, right? It might not have been purchasing something, but it was using an additional incentive to get them to take action, which is essentially what business owners should be, or at least should be trying to do, which is getting people to opt into funnels, opt into, as real estate agent open houses, right? And just something that came to mind as you were describing the incentive process is, now you can, if you're able to, as an agent, offer that as the reason for people to go into your open houses, that could give you an edge over other agents, if you're trying to take on a listing, right? Because now you have a way to actually get people in to see your open houses, right? For the seller that you're representing or whatever. So that's a really powerful tool, this incentive. And there's could be a variety of different ways that people can be using this for their business to generate leads and to essentially stack up their offer to make it real unique. Which has been a difficult thing, I think, for agents as the market gets a little bit more diluted and more people start getting their license, which is finding a way to stand out and be unique in your specific market.
I just interviewed a guy on my podcast a few weeks ago. I haven't published it yet, but he was on our show and he recently started using Marketing Boost. He's generated over uh, almost $100 million in funding from for apartment come. They build apartments all over the country, and he recently found Marketing Boost and came up with a promotion to reach out to his existing database of investors and saying, hey, if you invest an extra 5 grand before X date, so you put scarcity and urgency on it. If you're one of the first to invest 5 grand, additional 5 grand in this new rollout, or I don't know exactly how he did it, but the incentive was you get, you know, your choice of 5 nights in Cancun, Hawaii, or Cabo San Lucas if you're one of the first to invest $5,000. And he says, boom, he generated a whole bunch of additional revenue, and he was like, of investments, and he's like, man, I wish I'd known about you years ago. This, so I'll have to get you the name of that guy, not name of his company because he's pretty big, but he's got apartment complexes and he builds them from scratch. So has people investing in his operation to to build out these complexes.
Yeah, that's really cool. Being able to offer that as a as a way to generate more interest in your business, right? Because a lot of times in real estate, it's not the most interesting business. So if somebody sees this incentive or similar incentive that people are creating on their own, even this could be something to really ramp up your brand, your name, and also just get more people looking into who you are and what you do. So really
One
interesting.
last idea. Before, I don't know how much time you got, but something just came to me that a bunch of our insurance agents and some realtors are doing as well. Is they came up with the idea on their own. This wasn't my idea. They're leading by giving. And what these guys are doing is they're using our incentives to support local nonprofits in their local community. And they're take their sales hat off and can become a philanthropist and present themselves as the expert and authority. So they'll support local nonprofits, golf tournaments, high school football fundraising drives, whatever. And they go in and say, hey, my real estate firm or me as the individual real estate company, what I'd like to sponsor your next fundraising event. I'm going to give you half a dozen complimentary hotel stays that you can auction off, sell raffle tickets to, use them to, get people to show up to the live event, whatever you need to do. You keep all the money you raise. I just would like to be at the event so I can tell everybody how these incentives work. They don't include airfare, don't include food and beverage, don't include government taxes and fees. And a really quick elevator pitch, by the way, I'm your expert in Orlando. I'm your expert in Miami. I'm your real estate expert. If you're buying, selling, investing, don't forget, look for me. But let's make the best of this event. Please, donate away because we need to raise some money for this cause. And now you're rubbing shoulders with these philanthropists, and leads are coming your way by default, by accident, without the sales hat mode. You're not on sales mode. People are rubbing shoulders, and you're the hero, the expert, the authority, and generating leads without even trying.
Wow. That's, again, really creative ways to just leverage these incentives to get your name out there and to get people to know who you are. So really cool stuff. I think, listening to this episode will give people a lot of new ideas onto how to use lead magnets and what a lead magnet can even be and how to add value and stack value in your business. So Marco, I want to thank you for being on the show today. You shared a lot of value, a ton of value with us today, just being on the podcast as a guest. So, for anybody who is listening or watching this that want to know more about Marketing Boost, maybe want to be a part of the subscription program, or just want to know more about you and what you do, what are some of the best ways that people can find you, be a part of this, get more information?
Yeah, we have the Facebook group, which go to marketingboostsolutions.com, marketingboostsolutions.com. On that site, we've got a number of software tools and we offer to help boost your business, from automation to CRM platforms, and of course the incentives I've been talking about. And also on that site, there's a link to marketingboost.com but via that link, you can actually get a free account to test us out with no credit card required. So your listeners can go to marketingboostsolutions.com, look for the link for Marketing Boost, and go get a free account with no credit card required. It's limited. It doesn't include everything, but it gives you a chance to see how this program works. Give yourself one of our incentives to our top 7 destinations are included, and you can experience us without even putting in a credit card. And then join our Facebook group. The link to that is there as well. 30,000 entrepreneurs sharing ideas on how to grow your business with and without incentives.
Wow, awesome. We'll make sure to leave the link in that in the description down below so that's easy to find. But other than that, Marco, I want to thank you again for being on the show today. And before I let you go here, any last pieces of tips, advice that you want to leave with us here?
The only thing I would say to everybody out there is stop doing it by yourself. Stop doing it on your own. Start putting in anything you do over and over daily should be turned into a business process and delegated to a virtual assistant. I'm not in the virtual assistant business, but I know that too many entrepreneurs think too small. You think small, you stay small. Hire some assistants and start building a team. That would be my final,
Yep.
message.
Absolutely love that. And Marco, thank you again for being here, and thank you for tuning in. And we will see you on the next show. Take
Thank
care.
you.